I would love it if the afterlife looked like the 80s. Just personal wish for me as a Gen Xer who recognizes that was the best decade. Uh,
Rachel, then Deanna, and then Kelly, all living with ALS, all wonderful guests on the podcast. So when this week's guest, Sarah, messaged me, I was a little concerned that maybe we were reaching the end of what there is to say about living with ALS. Of course I was wrong. I should have known. If you've met one person living with ALS, you've met one person living with ALS. Sarah is bright, fun, and as funny as she is sweet. Please enjoy this conversation with Sarah. This is Dying to Tell You. Well, Sarah, welcome to Dying to Tell You. Why don't you start just by introducing yourself and telling us where in the world you are?
well, so my name is Sarah Parton, and I live in the United States in Pennsylvania along one of our Great Lakes, Lake Erie. So we won this winter the Snow Globe Award for having the most snow in the entire country.
Oh, wow.
And I will tell you, for a person in a wheelchair, that's not an award you want to win. It was ice cold here, and we literally were snowed in for months.
Wow. How much snow did you get?
I think it was over 150 inches. Wow. Usually Buffalo, New York beats us every year. They get it really bad, and we're always in second place, but we won this year. So,
well, congratulations.
Yeah. Woo. That's an award I don't like to win. But I do love living here for the change of seasons for sure. And the summers are just gorgeous here with Presque Isle and all of the things there are to do. So, yeah. And this is where my family lives. So that's where you end up living, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you are in Pennsylvania, and tell us a little bit about how long you've been living with your illness and what made you start to think that something might be wrong.
So I was diagnosed with ALS, which the day I was diagnosed, you could have blown me over with a feather. There was no part of me that ever believed this is what I had. I started with, in my right foot, big toe paralysis. I would notice I was putting on a shoe and my toe wouldn't slip into the shoe like it usually does. And in the summertime, I'd wear these really cute sandals and I'd be tripping because part of the shoe would catch. And my husband even said, he's like, maybe you need different sandals. And I noticed that it seemed weird. But none of that alerted me. I did ballet for 13 years throughout my life. And
oh, wow.
I Googled it and it said there can be a condition that football players and ballerinas and soccer players get that can cause the muscles in your big toe to kind of get stiff or weak. So that's what I thought it was. Until it progressed into all of my toes being paralyzed and then my ankle, and I developed drop foot. But I will caveat that with, I have no idea when that happened, because in July of 2021, I lost my best friend of 24 years suddenly. And so when she passed, that was probably the most grief I've ever had in my whole life. But she was my person. It will be 4 years this July since I've lost her, and I still miss her tremendously. But there was probably her passing was I look at it now, her gift to me.
Hmm.
Because less than a year later, here's me thinking, oh, I'm so mad at her. She's going to make me live 25 years more without her. And, she's going to miss all these things that I'm going to get to be there for. And then ipso facto, what happens? I get diagnosed with ALS less than a year later on June 21st, 2022. So I was like, well played, right? When you get that diagnosis, everything that I understood of ALS, I was aware what it was. I participated in the Ice Bucket Challenge. I donated money
kind of ironic.
To research.
Yeah.
And it was something that I'd always known about. But what I knew about it was you got it and you died.
Yeah.
And that, some of the information that was out there is, well, it's hard to do research on a disease that kills people so fast. So that was kind of what I thought. So I thought initially I'm going to fall asleep and I'm going to wake up dead. I was in denial probably for, oh my goodness, 5 months, 6 months, where I don't have this. They're wrong.
I want to talk a little bit about that because denial it's a powerful coping mechanism, and works really well until it doesn't, until you can't deny it anymore.
Right.
And I'm wondering, did you really believe that you didn't have ALS, or was it that you, I don't know, did you really believe that you did not have it?
Well, here's where I was looking. So one of the most, I would say one of the most familiar examples of ALS would be Stephen Hawking, right?
Sure.
When you look at Stephen Hawking, that's what everybody thinks ALS is. And yes, that is ALS in the end.
Right.
But to not do any research, to not look into it at all, I'm like, well, I'm not like him, so I can't have ALS.
You don't have
right?
It. Gotcha.
It has to be something else. And because my arms were fine and it was just my one leg, I'm like, was it PLS? Is it multifocal motor neuropathy? I was doing all kinds of research into all these. I did not believe it was ALS. I also probably, in sort of a self-preservation way, it can't be ALS, right? Because I was 40, I had just turned 46. So, it's a month into my 46th year on this planet. And I'm like, no, that's too soon. Right.
Right. Yeah.
But then I got a second opinion and they're like, yeah, I'm comfortable to say you have ALS. And what was funny not in a ha-ha way, but what was funny is it didn't hurt more the second time to hear it.
Yeah.
And then all the subsequent times, when I entered a clinical trial and they said, yeah, you definitely have ALS, none of those things didn't hurt more. I was very fortunate, am still very fortunate to have a very slow progressing form of the disease. And I don't know why I do. I walked for a good year and a half, and then went into a wheelchair because it made it easier. And you've had other guests on with ALS, and they have talked about this, the amount of energy you have in a day. Yeah. So I could have walked a lot longer, but it zapped my energy.
Sure. Yeah.
So if I sat in a wheelchair and we went to the mall or we went to a fair or I could stay a lot longer. If I walked through the grocery store, I needed a nap, afterwards.
Yeah, that energy budget. Yeah, you really have to pay attention to how you're spending your energy.
And that really became more apparent to me. I continued to work for about a year and a half, and then, decided that the stress of a job is probably what I don't need. And I was getting tired during the day. So that changed my desire to continue working. But what I've realized with ALS is you don't grieve for yourself. I'm not afraid to die. I'm afraid to leave people who aren't ready for me to be gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get emotional only because it is emotional. I'm not sad. I think I don't know what else to do, right? Because you're not laughing about it. When I look at my husband and I see that I've been married for, it will be 23 years in August.
Mm-hmm.
We've spent almost half of our lives together, and I'm sure he had plans, of what our retirement would look like, what our life would look like with our grandchildren. And so that's changed for him.
It's changed for you too.
Sure. I know that I will miss my son's wedding, that I will miss my granddaughter's graduating.
Yeah.
But where I'm so lucky is that I've had a son and I have grandchildren. So many people don't get that,
Mm-hmm.
So I've been very fortunate. Oh my God, for them to be able to have that. So I'm very, very lucky that way. And I know that, I have many people waiting for me when I get there. And I'm so excited to see them again.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a whole gambit of emotion that you go through when you think about dying.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is me, I'm more afraid of living with ALS than I am of dying from ALS. And I think that is a sentiment shared by some, certainly not all.
Yeah.
And no two people who have ALS progress the same or may look the same. Even the cohort of people you may be in the same diagnosis year as, they move along differently. And
Right.
everybody kind of does different things too. There's people who take all of the meds. There's people who take none of the meds. There's people who do supplements or and treat the symptoms that they're having. So the pain or the digestive issues and everybody does things a little differently.
Yeah.
And there have already been some people that, we've lost that I've met through social media or through doing some of the trainings I've done with them and it's not easy, but it's not unexpected either. So it's a friendship that you develop and you're also prepared.
Yeah. What an interesting
Weird way to form a friendship, right?
Right. Knowing that you're going to be saying goodbye really shortly.
So.
Yeah. Would you talk a little bit more about what you said about the fear of living with ALS versus the fear of dying from ALS? Would you tell me a little bit about what specifically living with ALS, what you're afraid of?
Sure. I initially, when it affected my legs, and it was scary to kind of say goodbye to your legs, right? I wasn't able to wear shoes anymore. I miss shoes so much. I wasn't able to wear jeans or button pants. I kind of had to go to stretch pants, but you know what? I can make those work. Those work. When I lost my hands, I was starting to lose the muscle in my hands, and in my fingers, and a little bit in my right arm, because ALS loves to attack your dominant side first. So I'm right-handed, so it takes my right arm and my right leg first, right? So my life has become 20 times more complicated. There is very few things I can do on my own without help. And as you can tell by the way I'm talking, ALS has started to affect my diaphragm, which is what you need for breathing. And so it makes my voice a little patchy. It does make me tired and winded. I have a lot of skin breakdown on my ankles from poor circulation, or on my heels from poor circulation. And actually from sitting, even sitting, if you move to bed or a recliner, you're still sitting. It's like people who get sore feet from standing. You get a sore bum and thighs from sitting.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that I can't do. Like my hair today, my husband did my hair for me. Makeup, so sweet. My husband helps me do that, right? Putting on a shirt, putting on earrings, wrapping presents, logging into a meeting, right? Writing a thank you card. So these are things that I'm becoming more and more dependent on everybody, even eating. So I haven't practiced a lot eating with my left hand, but I've had to. And so things that I can stab and pick up. And yes, those seem kind of like, first world problems, right? But it's getting harder and harder. Depending on how I'm laying or sitting, I can't breathe. So if I lean too far forward, I can't breathe. Lean to the side, I can't breathe. Go too far back, I can't breathe. If I fall asleep, I could die from not breathing. I have a BiPAP for breathing support. I only do external ventilation support, so no plans of doing internal trach or anything like that once my time comes. But losing my voice, losing the rest of my arms or my ability to move them is just terrifying to me.
What is it about that is so scary? Is it the being dependent on other people for help?
I think a little bit, being a burden.
Yeah.
Right? You feel, it doesn't matter if you are or not, you feel like you are. Everybody who helps me loves me. They do it because they love me. But there's still that part of you that can feel like a burden. Like if I'm uncomfortable, I cannot move myself. So I will tell you, I wake my husband up probably 4 times throughout the night because I just need to move my leg a little bit or move my foot, and that poor guy has to get up, move me, go back to sleep. And there is something to be said about ALS doesn't affect your brain. So I'm still me. And I will be kind of locked inside of a body that doesn't work. So I'll have things to say, and I might not be able to say them. I might have a bug crawling on me, and I'm not able to get it off. And, I think it's quality of life. And I don't want to say that everybody should feel that way. And I'm not insulting anybody who makes a different choice. But for me, quality of life is, active participation. I would love to just get in a car and drive somewhere, or be able to, I don't know, turn on a light by myself, right?
Come on, baby, let's go west to the promised land. Take my hand again, Load up the car and drive real far. I could play for cash at the Walmart. It don't rain enough around here, and you know it don't. Sunset Drive is quite alright with me, baby, but we can't stay here forever. The future's been too bright for too long, so take some time and get certified. I'll pump the gas and baby, we'll go drive. Interstate 75, so
Would you talk a little bit about how you made the decision about no, invasive ventilation? Did somebody bring that to you and say, "Hey, this is something you're gonna need to think about," or were you just being proactive and kind of doing your research and seeing what felt good to you? Did somebody talk you through it? How did you come to that?
I think that's a great question. And I think it's a question that everybody with ALS is kind of confronted with, because there's a couple of different considerations that I think people make. Feeding tube or no feeding tube.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you a DNR or are you not?
Yep.
Even in the early stages of ALS, are you a DNR or do you want to have them save you? And I think that the trach is probably one of the biggest considerations. Yep. And there's no right or wrong answer. It is so personal to the person or the people who have made that decision. That is theirs to make. For me, because I sensed that it was going to be the last thing for me, I kind of joked. Dark humor is something I developed pretty significantly throughout the journey in ALS. And if I can't make fun of myself for what I'm going through sometimes, I think all you do is cry. So to be able to laugh a little, like I used to tell people, "Oh, I just have this disease for the great parking." And when I lost my ability to walk, I'll be like, "You know what? I'll tell you, I can't stand, because I can't stand," right? And so it's just, there was a lot of, and I have a sweatshirt that says, "I'm not drunk, I have ALS," because when I first started having a sloppy gait, I looked like I was drunk. And so there are a lot of just really funny things that come. So looking into how I want to live, I want to kind of go out as I lived.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when already I need so much help, and I knew that I would. And it's hard to get that help. And probably the scariest thing for me was the lack of caregiver support for me if I were to choose that. But that wasn't the only consideration, certainly. It was also, what would that mean for my family? What would that mean for myself? And then what if I got tired of that? What was the option? And so for me, it was a very easy decision to say, I am not going to do that, simply because I do believe that when it's time, it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know that the disease will have run its course throughout my body, considering it started in my big toe. I knew that it was going to take a lot of everything else before it took that.
Mm-hmm.
My hope is to not lose the ability to talk, because I'm still talking, I'm still eating, I'm still chewing, I can still yawn, I still can move my head. So I have some movement, and some movement in my arms,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of stuff. So I feel like, because I'm already having some breathing issues, maybe I will talk until the end.
Yeah, you might. Yeah. Right.
That's kind of my hope. When it comes, I know that I'm ready. I am a DNR, so if I have a heart attack or I'm in a car accident, it was actually a scary time. It would be about a month ago. I was in the hospital. I'm one of the women with ALS who made a decision to have a suprapubic catheter placed.
Okay.
And I consider that very palliative in the sense of it eliminates the need for somebody to get me to and from the bathroom all the time.
All the time, right?
The need to wear incontinence products.
Mm-hmm.
And so that surgery went very well. Problem was, it makes you very susceptible to UTIs in the initial beginnings of it. And I did get one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got one and I thought it was gone. I actually got septic from my UTI. And I landed in the hospital. And that sepsis, I got into the hospital, got so bad, I became unresponsive, laying in the hospital. And my mom was there, my husband was there, my sister was there. And they're all very aware that I'm a DNR. But they will tell the story that I was kind of laying there and they thought I was going to die. But I did respond to over the face support, and I woke up. And for about 3 days of that hospital stay, it was very touch and go.
Yeah.
And then I got better. And so right now is the better that I am.
Mm-hmm.
But they really thought that I was going to die then. And it was interesting to think about it because as sick as I felt and I was, there was no fear for me, no remorse, I tell everybody, and I will say this with my whole body, I've had a wonderful, amazing life. It has been filled with so much joy and so many blessings that there's no part of me that says, oh, I wish I just could have, or oh, I wish I just would have. I've traveled, I've taken vacations. I have great loves, I have family. It has been a wonderful, amazing life. And yeah, don't get me wrong, 20, 25, 30 more years would be nice.
Yeah.
But that would only add to how amazing my existence has been. And because I have a very strong belief in the power of the soul and the longevity of the soul, I don't think that it's over when I'm gone. So I think if I asked enough people, have you ever felt visited by somebody who you've lost? I think the amount of people who would say, yeah, I have, is probably pretty high. And is that wishing? I used to joke, my best friend, I know that she came to see me, but she has children. And so she would only come see me at 3:00 in the morning. I would be laying in bed.
She's busy otherwise.
And I feel just this instant happiness rush across me, and I'd wake up and my eye, it would shoot up awake. And I'm really 3:00 in the morning? Because I knew she's visiting other people those other times and, coming to see me then. And it was a beautiful feeling, So it's, I know that there's more. And I do believe in the energy and power of the soul to live on. And whatever that soul looks like, is it across the different faiths and what they believe? I just do believe that it is one of those things that endures.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a beautiful feeling for the afterlife. Part of me also hopes that maybe I can choose to be in a decade of the 80s, have all that great music, the fashion and the big hair. I would love it if the afterlife looked like the 80s. Just a personal wish for me. As a Gen Xer who recognizes That was the best decade. I do talk about death with my family, grief and loss with my family, because of the magnanimous amount of grief I had with my best friend. I didn't realize grief could be that deep, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of know what they're going to go through to an
Mm-hmm.
extent. And so I assure them that I will be able to walk and run and drive a car in the afterlife. And my grandchildren think that's hilarious that you drive cars in the afterlife. And I told my one granddaughter, she's 7, that I will be a glitter ghost. And so every time she sees glitter, know that it's me,
Remind
because
you.
that's how she relates, to what it feels like or what it will be like. So I'm 49 now. I'm hoping to get to 50, just to say 50. But if I don't, I want to at least make it to Christmas, which is my favorite holiday. So we'll see. I don't feel any closer to death than I have before. I think with ALS, you can always say you're 6 months from dying because nobody can tell you
Right.
until the very end how much time you have.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel very positive about what my future will look like. I feel very supported in my plans. I have also plans to donate my brain to science for continued research. So that is something that's very important to me. And I don't know how far into it people are interested in hearing, but I have been to urn funerals and I've been to body funerals. Urn funerals are so much happier. So I want to have an urn funeral and with tons of pictures and funny things. Like I have this love of Diet Pepsi, like you can't believe. And
Okay.
so I want a bunch of Diet Pepsi out at my funeral. And I did smoke for a long time, and I'm not anymore, but I did. And oh, do I miss my cigarettes, right? So I want photos of all my cigarettes out there. And
what was your brand?
So I love Salem Slim Lights. They were the best cigarettes in the world. And I miss them every day. It's the things you give up, It's interesting how you can live without them, though, and I'm not miserable. But all the years I smoked, I'm like, I don't know what I would do without you.
Yeah.
They got me through some tough times,
I'm
right?
sure they did, yeah.
And here they aren't here for me now, but yeah, so I want it to be a celebration of my life and as easy for people as it can be. I don't want to dismiss anybody's grief, but I want to say to everybody, don't be sad, be mad. Be mad that there's not a cure. Be mad that it takes so long to get drugs passed that could help us. Be mad that there isn't more that can be done. I kind of used to remark back in my big advocate days for this disease that if polar bears were disappearing one every 90 minutes, the world would be freaking out. But a human is lost every 90 minutes to this disease. For 150 years, we haven't cured it. Are we closer than ever? Probably. Is there a lot of research going on? Absolutely. Do I feel comfortable to say that in 15 to 20 years, there may be something that they've developed that can stave off or even cure this disease? I feel very optimistic, very optimistic. Every time I hear somebody diagnosed with ALS, it breaks my heart because it's tough. But I also am glad that if anybody in my family, it was me. It's a lot easier, and I say that with bated breath, to be the person with it than the person watching it. I think a lot of people look at me and they feel helpless to help me. And they feel like, what can I do to help? So I try to give everybody something that they can like, hey, can you wrap these presents for me? Or, hey, can you come over and help me organize my linen closet? Or, because everybody wants to do something. And what I need help with is usually not that, it's not something I can ask other people to do.
Mm.
It's, I want to sleep through the night and I want to be able to, put shoes on. That's what I want. But I think ALS, people make plans for their life. But with ALS, you don't really make plans anymore. I haven't. My plans are like, what am I going to do when I can't do this? What do I need when I can't do this? What happens when I can't do this? And that becomes the plan. We're not planning vacations or trips. So there's a lot of sadness,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also, I'm so lucky to have been here 3 years. I just passed 3 years since diagnosis and almost 4 years with symptoms. So I'm lucky. If you're handed the crappiest situation in the world, I'm very lucky in the crappy situation I was handed. So, and I know that there's some people that you've interviewed with ALS who have passed, and I've listened to their podcasts on your, just amazing people.
They really are. They really are.
And I will say, with ALS, there's not much to do for you. So what's been nice is I'm not sick like somebody who has cancer or, bad kidneys. I'm not sick. So I can actively participate in my life until I can't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to doctor's appointments every 5 minutes. I'm not
getting a bunch of treatment. Yeah.
Nope.
Right.
Nope. And is that a trade? Sure. But I'm very lucky that I'm not bedriddenly ill and also dying. So I do recognize fortune in that. But when I say there's not much they can do, that is kind of sad too, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Nobody survives this disease. So you enjoy what you can. And I'm very lucky that to the day I die, I will not forget who anybody is.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's mine is lost to time. Our home is in the space. The bird who walks the line, just use those wings and rise. Moon mother, open your eyes. Moon mother, this magic's just begun. Moon mother, reach for my heart, so I can feel this essence of me. Time to wake up in these rising seas.
What are you enjoying in life right now?
I will tell you, I love, and you're going to laugh, I love taking a shower.
Mm.
It feels so amazing. And the respect that people have to understand that I want that shower every day.
Yeah.
I love that my sisters are coming over every day to keep me company. And I love that people have changed locations that we celebrate holidays at so I can access them. People have moved parties over to my house. We have a big backyard so that I can attend them. And I've done things. Even my brother-in-law who's here today, he cut back one of the bushes on a sidewalk because I couldn't get on the sidewalk. It's running into the bush, which is just the sweet things that people do. And helping me out with transportation and entertainment for my grandchildren, or just amazing. And I enjoy every bit of that. I love naps. They bring me great enjoyment. And I know that sounds funny, but just a quick siesta. I love the sunshine and the long days. And I truly enjoy a good TV program that I can watch and get involved in. I joked, people come to visit me. I'm like, well, I don't travel and I'm not working. So I can talk to you all about the best TV programs on right now. I feel like all she talks about is TV, but it's, and I'm teaching my son, which is interesting. I can't cook. So I'm teaching him some of my recipes. He gets the pots and pans out. He gets the ingredients out. And he's a very good cook in some respects. What he makes is very good. He's 22 and he makes like steak. And we got him a Blackstone for Christmas. He Blackstones a lot of stuff for us. But I'm teaching him how to make my beans and how to make hamburger stroganoff, and taught my husband kind of how to make meatloaf. And because I'm standing there and I'm telling him what goes in. And so I love that because I'm passing on, those recipes to them. And it's something we're doing together. And even when, my husband's helping me get ready or my son's helping me get ready, like doing my hair, whatever, it's teaching them what I need, and it's quality time we're spending together. So it's, you really do appreciate every interaction. I make it a point to go to everything, every birthday party, every celebration, everything, so that I'm there and I can become so much more important. When you have a closer expiration date than some other people do, right? Because if I say I'm dying, some people respond, we're all dying, Absolutely, we all are, but I can probably guarantee you mine's coming a little sooner than yours.
Right.
So those become the important things. And I don't focus on dying. I don't sit around saying, I'm dying. I want to make it as easy for everybody else as I can. The type A person that I am loves that I've had this time to plan out what I want and how it's going to go, get everything organized for, my husband's going to be taking over everything when I'm gone. And maybe he doesn't know that I pay this bill on this day and we have this, going on here. So to be able to learn that and pay down a lot of things, so his debt is minimal. Those become the important things, and making sure everybody knows this is my favorite song. Well, this is my favorite color. Well, this is so nobody has questions. I will be doing some very difficult legacy videos for my family too. You see, I can barely keep it together when I talk about the things that are tough for me. And that isn't sadness. I think that comes from that internal reaction of like, wow, those are big things that hurt,
Yeah. Yep.
So, but I found that since my ability to yell and scream has diminished, now I've become more of a crier and a little sappier, right? So I can't rage against it anymore.
Interesting.
I do enjoy my family so much, and I'm so lucky to have so much family around.
Mm-hmm.
And, letting them know that don't grieve me yet. I'm not dead.
That's right. Yeah.
I have seen multiple levels of grief initially and kind of throughout, but it's been enough years that I think people are kind of through some of that stuff. I've lost some people because they just can't watch it. Some close friends that, just couldn't watch the decline of me. And so that's okay, because everybody's capable of what they're capable of. And I can't ask people to be more than what they can be. But as hard as it is for my family to see, they're sticking with me. So thank you to them.
Can I just say how gracious you are with yourself and with other people. It's come to mind several times as you've been talking about all of what you're dealing with. But as you're saying, there are people out there, close friends, who can't handle watching the decline. It takes a lot of grace to say, that's okay. I'm going to allow that and not be upset by it. I'm sure it can be hurtful, but your graciousness in saying that that's okay, your graciousness in passing along recipes, and even in allowing people to help you. You were saying earlier about feeling like a burden and how difficult that is. And I was just also thinking, because that comes up a lot of times in the hospital with people who are anticipating living with illness like ALS or cancer or whatever it is, because there is caregiving that's going to be needed, and no matter what anybody says, there is burden associated with that, right? And like you said, these people are here doing these things for you because they love you and because they want to bear the burden. And there's grace needed to allow someone the gift of caring for you, because I know, I don't know your husband, but I can imagine that in 10 years, when you're not here anymore, he's going to look back at those nights where you wake him up 4 or 5 times to help you move, and he is going to love that. He's going to remember it fondly. He's not going to be upset because he lost a few minutes of sleep. He's going to be thankful that you allowed him to care for you in that way. And I think there is such a beautiful give and take when somebody is in a position like you are that needs caregiving. So if nobody else has said it, thank you for allowing people to care for you.
That means a lot, because I don't know if you might have guessed also by my fiery personality, I'm not the easiest person to care for, right? And so I so appreciate you saying that, because there are times that I've accepted good enough because it's coming from somebody who's trying, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it would surprise you if I said I'm a perfectionist who likes things done a certain way. And I have accepted good enough many times because the love and the effort is there. And I can say, you know what, that's good enough. I'm so appreciative. And I probably don't say it enough because so many people out there dealing with all different kinds of illness don't have that support. And when you look at the statistic of spouses who leave during these times, it's astronomically high because they just can't handle it. So, boy, did I get lucky in who I have to share my life with, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not lost on me in any way how fortunate I am. But I do appreciate that, because it does get hard to constantly ask for everything. And I swear, if I drop our TV remotes one more time and the batteries spill out all over the floor, I think my family's going to tell me I'm not allowed to touch the remotes anymore. I'm like, I don't know how it fell. It just did. Yeah. And the amount of door frames. They're going to have so much work to do when I'm finally not here. And just standing down all the door frames and fixing all the holes in the wall. Because now I'm like a whiz in this wheelchair. But when you first get in a wheelchair, you are crashing into every door frame and every lines along the wall. Good Lord. It has been a journey, and how much I've learned about myself too. And I think, I talked a lot about what I've learned about myself, but I would not choose this disease again. I don't know if in the great before we're born era, we pick just the hardest thing we can possibly deal with or what, but I would not choose this again. I think I'll choose something else. But for everybody, even when I'm gone, I'm not gone. And that's what I firmly believe. So it gives me great reassurance and acceptance of that time.
Do you have a belief system or a faith, belief in God? I know you said you believe in the longevity of the soul. What does that look like, or where did you get that?
I'm not really ruling anything out. I don't want to make light of any religion or anybody's beliefs. I have had the fortune of having readings done by several different mediums, by being part of some different religious practices and celebration. It's almost like an eclectic view, if I can. I do not believe that there is a hell per se,
Okay.
where we're punished for anything we did. I believe that the afterlife is only a time for peace and love, and I'm losing some adjectives in my description there, but I think there's an option to redo it. So reincarnation. I think there's an option to join your soul energy and wait for everybody else. I think that there is, an option to return here and guide people. And I think all of those include no pain, no sadness. It's just happiness and peace. And if I find out I'm wrong, I haven't lost anything, right?
That's right.
But I do. I believe so much in there's more. And I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know how to not believe it, right? But no, I don't follow any particular religion. I wouldn't even say I'm religious. I would say I'm aware there's something bigger than me, but I don't know what it is. If I do find out and there's a way I can come back and tell everyone, I certainly will.
Well, please let us know. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I can be a guest in the future, right?
Please. Yeah. Find me.
From the beyond. But I don't think that our loved ones ever go too far away from us. It was interesting. I will share just this little tip. My best friend passed. I went to see a medium because I missed her so much. And she was there. But the medium said something to me. He said, there's an old guy, an old man trying to come through. And I said, really? She's like, yeah, he has a real shiny head.
Like he's bald.
Yeah. And he says he's like your grandpa, or I'm getting male relative, grandpa, uncle. He says that he's there when you're smoking and you're not smoking your whole cigarette. And he says it's a waste. And I'm like, it's my mom's dad who died when I was like 1. I've never posted anything on social media about him. There is not a picture that exists in this world of me smoking a cigarette where she could have found it. And the fact that he was a smoker, died of a heart attack, probably only smoking half a cigarette, pissed him off, right? And so when I told my mom about it, she's like, I cannot believe he would come back to tell you to smoke the whole cigarette and not quit smoking. And we laughed so hard. But that right there told me your loved ones never are far away.
Laissons pas de non-désir, on découvrira cette chose qui n'existe pas, l'inconnu qui est en moi. Envie d'être envie de soi, pour une fois.
as much as I want to educate people about what ALS is, I also want to give people that other piece of like, yeah, there's a huge emotional piece to this disease that just can tear you up sometimes. And the amount of coping you have to do with what you're not going to get to see or do, and the coping that you have to have as your body starts to fail you in ways. I used to laugh at the appointments when my neurologist would say, "Can you still roll over in bed? Can you get up from this chair without using your hands?" And I'm like, well, of course I can. Now I can't do anything, right?
Yeah.
But I used to laugh. So that whole, all the stuff that happens, everything you're just able to cope with. And the way that your brain kind of protects you from the super scary stuff is also important too, because there's some scary stuff coming down the pike that I don't think about day to day. I know it's going to happen. And when it does, we'll deal with it. So I think that being able to let people know that even while you're looking at this disease, there also is that big emotional piece that I'm very fortunate to have people in my life who recognize that and attend to that as well. It's just, I think it goes hand in hand with having a terminal illness or a disease that is going to take you from this life.
Yeah. Yeah. We just recorded an interview with a man who said the thing that he would recommend immediately to anyone who's been diagnosed with a terminal illness is to get a therapist, because the emotional impact of that is just, it's so immense. And having the ability to talk about the things that you're afraid of, to kind of work through all of that and help you cope with that so that you can spend the rest of your time living, participating, like you said.
Yeah. And I know that the different supports that have been out there and some of even the ALS community, they're just really good at, we're really good at helping each other out. You ask a question within any of these ALS forums of like, hey, I'm not sleeping great. You'll get 45 answers of different things people do to help them sleep. Whether it's a prescription from your doctor or something you buy online or something that positions your body different that makes it easier to sleep. It's amazing. And so a problem in this community isn't a problem for long if you ask the question and get some support. And people in this community, it's something I've said for a long time. It appears like only the most amazing people in the world are the ones who get ALS.
It does seem so, yeah.
This community is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
They are brilliant and funny and they're just some of the best people. And I don't know if it's the disease that makes you the best or it really did it just affects the best. Because I feel so much for the community of people with ALS. So everybody you meet, amazing.
Yeah. I wonder what that is. I wonder, maybe you're right. Maybe it's the universe giving only the best people the worst possible disease.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm thinking back to you're the fourth guest now that I've met and had as a guest on the podcast, and with no exception, everybody is amazing, and the attitude that each of you has about living with this disease, it's just fantastic. And I don't know, maybe it is that the best people get it, or maybe it's just that when you have this and you connect with this community of other people that have it, or maybe it's just the human spirit, the ability to adapt and change and accept and just do whatever's next. I don't know, but you're right. Everybody that I've met that has ALS has been fantastic.
Oh, and I did want to add, as I was listening to different podcasts throughout the week from your platform, I do love Hospice Nurse Julie and Hospice Nurse Penny so much. I adore them. So I just want to put that, make sure that gets in the podcast too, because they are amazing women doing amazing things. And
they really are.
I go to their lives on TikTok all the time, and I follow their content. They are amazing. So it's, I was so glad to see they had interviews on there, and I listened to them, and I'm like, I just love them so much.
They're so great.
Hospice nurse Julie is from Erie, close to where I live.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
She moved there. So yeah, I said, well, hey, could you come back to Erie and be my hospice nurse? And she laughed. But it was, so I enjoy both of them tremendously, and they really do a great job educating about hospice and breaking apart some of the preconceived notions people have about hospice.
Yeah. One of the most important things that you've said today is this idea that for the people watching, it feels so helpless. I think just naming that out loud for people to hear, and I think it will help people who are experiencing this as loved ones of someone with ALS or any disease really that is incurable. There's a helpless feeling, and I think naming that and understanding that is a great first step in being able to cope with watching somebody as they're coming to the end of their life.
Well, I appreciate that.
Is there anything else that you wanted to say that you haven't said?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to some of my favorite ALS organizations.
Yes, please do. Please do.
One of the things people struggle with when they're first diagnosed is not knowing who's out there. And I will tell you that Live Like Lou was the first organization that helped me with a home improvement grant to redo my bathroom, to get a walk-in shower. And they are www.livelikeLou.org. And that's based on the model of Lou Gehrig, one of the most famous people with ALS, and one of the most out he really publicly showed his battle with the disease. The other amazing agency that I'm sure people have brought up before, Team Gleason, started by Steve Gleason, the New Orleans Saint who got ALS. They have been amazing to me in providing me my very first wheelchair.
Oh, great.
For free.
We'll put those links in the show notes so people can find it. Yeah.
And so just for people who are needing some support, not sure where to go, because so much is not covered by insurance with this disease, that there are agencies out there that kind of help you to afford those things while you're going through the disease, and you're like, I need a wheelchair. Oh no, I need a shower chair. Oh no, now I need this. Now I need that. It's sort of funny the things you think about and you didn't even know were out there. So important, but I do love those agencies are out there.
The last question we ask everybody is, how do you want to be remembered?
I think about this all the time. And I think that the way that I'm doing or want my funeral to go will be the way I want to be remembered, as somebody who was funny and carefree and enjoyed the best that life had, and probably a little hedonistic. If it feels good, do it. I very much lived my life that way. So at times self-destructively in my early 20s, if it felt good, do it. I want people to laugh when they look back, that kind of like happy chuckle that they get of like, yep, that was Sarah. Fast cars, high heel shoes, tons of makeup and big hair, gorgeous earrings, and cigarette hanging out of your mouth, a delicious cocktail. Like, I want, if anybody's seen the Absolutely Fabulous show, that's how I want. Be remembered as one of those ab fab girls, right? Just as somebody who really enjoyed life, but also on the converse, somebody who really loved being a mom and a wife. After the fun. But I don't ever want anyone to forget that I enjoyed a good joke and I love to be funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would have to say that would be the way, because when you think about all the funny things I've done in my life, everybody will laugh.
Yeah.
And then they won't cry.
I love it. Well, I'll think of you every time I have a Diet Pepsi, and I'm not
you
gonna
pass a handicap parking spot and say,
if only I had ALS.
Only you could get that parking spot. No, really, how? I'm just doing it for the parking. Amazing.
And I'm gonna think about you every time I see glitter now too.
Yeah, well, right. Because for my granddaughter, glitter ghost made sense. So
yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Such a gift. Yeah, thank you.
Well, and I'm sorry that I got a little emotional during it.
How dare you, Sarah? How dare you?
That. But I also think being vulnerable to really sensitive things shows people that you can be vulnerable at times and it's okay.
And it is okay. And I like what you said about you've kind of lost some of the ability to rage. And really, I mean, a lot of times our rage is a mask for sadness or fear. And I think just being honest about that and showing that is really, I mean, I think that's beneficial I think it's probably beneficial for you, but I know that it's going to be beneficial for your family and friends too. So thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you so much. I've enjoyed talking to you. I think you have a wonderful, soothing voice.
Oh, thank you.
You're not afraid to talk to somebody about death and dying. You're not afraid to ask the wrong question. Because I said, don't dance around it. You just come out and ask me. You want to know something, I'll tell you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm an open book about it. And you do a great job navigating around that. So it's been super enjoyable. It's felt very comfortable and normal, you know.
Good. Chris, keep that in the episode. I want to make sure people know how soothing I am.
You're a nice guy. Right. It's been enjoyable. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to Sarah for getting in touch and being so willing to share your story with us. I'll say more about our conversation next week in the reflection. Thank you to the producer, Chris Rock, and to the ILIF School of Theology for helping make this podcast happen. Be sure to check out ILIF's Death Care Collective, linked in the show notes. Until next week, do what needs to be done, say what needs to be said, and live your life with intention and purpose. This is Dying to Tell You.